Okay.
Hello. Hello there.
Good evening.
It's good evening. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful season we're in right now. People talk about love, and we're going to be understanding more of what this season is about. It's actually a day, but yeah, I think when I think about February, I just usually will think about Love Month, and people have colors. I believe love doesn't really have colors, but love speaks, it shows in actions. We're going to be hearing a lot today. So I want to welcome all the people that are going to be joining us or that are joining right now to this program. And today I have a very, very important guest that are joining us on this platform today. They are people that mean so much to me, and I appreciate them a lot. I appreciate the husband and I appreciate the beautiful wife. People always say, why do pastors marry beautiful wives? I don't know. But I want to believe that they were praying, but they were also, their eyes were opening. Their eyes were open when they were praying. I have a book that is titled "Praying with Eyes Wide Open." So I
Wow.
want to believe that pastors are taking that when they are telling the members, pray, 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 close your eyes and pray. They are opening their eyes and they are praying. It's okay. So today I have those people. I'm going to introduce them, the couple that we have today. There was special couple for this Valentine special. And so we have, before I introduce these people, I just want to do a call out to Reverend Bianc in Jos. Is an amazing man of God, and I respect so much in the city of Jos. And this last week, he lost a grandson, was a boy of 13 years old. And last week, it's been really, really tough for me as a person, because I happen to also know the parent of the boy. And I want to believe that Longy is with Jesus right now, and there have been
That's
several
right.
testimony of him that people have said in the school and so on. They've talked about the amazing testimony about how much he loved God, and so on like that. Even though we wouldn't want him to go at an early age of 13 years, when he was missing, we're just praying and trusting God that he was going to come back home. But the thing is, he's home now. Is just not home with us physically. Is home
Mm,
with his maker, is home where he really, really will be happier. So even though like we can mourn, but is in a better place, is in a glorious
mm.
place. And we just want to reach out to the family and say that our heart goes out to you and our prayer goes out to Daddy Bianc. Is an amazing man of God, and to Ruth and her husband. Our heart really goes out to you. Praise the Lord. And so
Hallelujah.
I want to introduce our guest today. We have Pastor Bamshak. Pastor Bamshak Big One is the visionary of Teach Me to Love You, and also the progenitor of Air Nation Global. I'm sure you can quickly say what that is when it's time. And is an engineer by training, but a corporate management consultant in principle. He serves under Pastor Jemima Imbaya, with his wife as the resident pastors of the Latter House Christian Center, headquartered in Jos City with several branches across Nigeria. Pastor Stephanie Bigwan, of course, is the wife of Pastor Bamshak. She is the co-visionary and visionary of Teach Me to Love You. and the First Lady of her Nation Global. She's also the CEO of Zahara Care. I'm waiting to come there whenever I come to Jos. And of course, she's also the co-resident pastor of the Latter House Christian Center in Jos and across Nigeria. They are blessed with 4 amazing children. Help me welcome our guests today, Pastor Blanchard and Pastor Stephanie Bigwan. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's good to be here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for having us, Ma. It's always a privilege.
Okay. So let's start on this light mode. Pastor Bamshak, do you want to say what the Air Nation is? I know it's just AIR. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so AIR, the acronym AIR is actually A, affluence, I, influence, and then R, relevance. Affluence, influence, and relevance. That's the name of the company, that organization that I run. We're into consulting for corporate organizations, and then of course into leadership trainings, and basically trying to harness human and material resources and channeling it towards citywide, statewide, national, and global reformation. So basically, that's what the Air Nation is all about. Our desire is to be able to create an environment where our clients or those people who partner with us are able to get the best of everything that life can offer with their material and the human resources. So basically, the air is affluence, influence, and relevance. Basically,
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think countries need that, and Nigeria as a whole needs that. Pastor Stephanie, this Zara Beauty Care, what is it about? I mean, I know little about it. What is it about for people living in Jos or want to come to Jos for it? What is it about?
Okay, well, there are 2 arms to Zahara Care. We have the product line, which they're products that the company produces, manufactures, for various skin types, various skin conditions. And then we also have the day spa, which runs for services, body treatments, facial treatments, and so on. So basically, that's what it is. It's branches into 2 skincare products and also skincare services.
Oh, that's amazing. Especially pastors. A lot of the time, people don't even know that they need massage, they need spa, they need all of those things. They don't,
Yes,
everybody is in the spirit until the body begins to reject certain things. So I think it's good. I'm looking forward to it. I've told myself anytime I'm in Jos, I will definitely come and treat
it'll be a
myself.
pleasure.
I will definitely come and treat myself. Okay, so today we're doing Valentine thing, and so we want to talk about love. And I'm really appreciate the fact that you do this Teach Me to Love You, program, which is very, very important. Let's start by defining love. I mean, love has different definition. I have my deep definition of love that has stayed with me for years, that guides me in everything. We talk about vision, and people don't even know what love is or what love is not, apart from looking at, okay, love is red, love. I mean, what is love really when we're talking about love?
Okay. So for me, I would always define love as the combination of commitment and affection. Is a combination of commitment and affection, and that affection can also be the emotional attraction that you have towards someone. So put that together, it is the attractive emotion you have towards someone that is combined with commitment, because love is combined with commitment and attraction that is caused by an emotion, or an emotion that is caused by attraction. So there's a part of love that has to do with an emotional feeling of attractiveness, and there's the part that also has to do with commitment. So being committed towards loving someone, whether there is emotion or not. There's the part of it that involves emotion, and then there's the part of it that involves commitment. And so for me, love is a combination of commitment and affection towards someone.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pastor Bamshu. I'm really grateful, like you mentioning those two parts, because most times everybody just want to concentrate on the affection, and nobody's
That's right.
talking about the commitment. And then they get married, and there's a need for commitment, and the wife is not in need, or the husband is not in need. So, Pastor Bamshak, I want to ask, how do we combine this affection and commitment? Because I have a friend, she lives where I live. She's Indian, and they did arrange marriage. It was, the wedding was arranged. It was on the day of engagement that she saw the person she was going to marry. And they're just wonderful people today. They're wonderful couple. And how do what starts first? Should it be the commitment? Should it be the affection? Can it start together? Please explain that to us.
Wow. Okay. Well, for my personal experience, you would always find out that the aspect of love that has to do with affection, that is the attractive emotion towards someone, usually starts first. And it's the basic thing or the basic phenomenon that draws two people of opposite sex. I have to say that because right now there's so much that is going on. But two people of opposite sex attracted towards one another, it usually starts from physical attraction and emotional attractiveness that draws you towards someone. Now, it always starts from there because that affection comes with a natural commitment, and the natural commitment, which is actually a place where you're willing to give your time, you're willing to invest your resources, you're willing to give your energy towards that person because somehow your emotion is compelling, and the natural energy that feeds that level, that expression of love at that time is the affection, that's the emotional side. Now, usually that is called limerence. And after that limerence is after you start, maybe you've asked the lady out or you're married to that person. Usually after some time you get to know the person. This person that you always leave after some time when you're dating to go back to your home or you can't wait to come back. After some time, after you're married or you've started dating, you discover that that affection begins to wane. That emotional attractiveness, that compulsive drive towards the person begins to wane, begins to dwindle to a stop. Now, that is where, if it is actually love, commitment kicks in. Commitment kicks in. And what is commitment? Commitment is the consistent, constant, and continuous action towards someone to show the person that the person you value the person and the person means a lot to you. So usually the affection and the commitment starts. The affection drives a part of the commitment, but a time comes where the emotional, what people call butterflies in the stomach and all of that is no longer there, and then the commitment now kicks in. That is where, for me, I always define as the First Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind, love esteems the other before you, or and then love does not. Does not suffer. It doesn't want to have. It's not prideful. All of those things that come with it. So the combination of these two amazing phenomena is what helps any couple to move from the place of attractiveness to a place of commitment. And eventually, there are things that you have to do while you're committed to ensure that that affection part does not dwindle. Because while for my wife and I, is quite difficult to believe, my affection towards her has been growing, and part of the reason is because apart from the commitment, there are things that I'm doing to keep the emotional attractiveness at the very high place. So for me, the combination of these two, usually you start with the emotions, the affections, the limerence is there, but after some time, you notice that the natural drive is not there. That's where commitment kicks in. But in the commitment, you now begin to do the things you used to do, because when you start with all those emotions, there are things you used to do: the visiting, the dating, the buying of gifts, and all of that. So that is what will keep the emotion and the attractive affection consistent. Commitment is what will get you to that point. But if you notice that the affection is not there while you are in commitment, you can do certain things to make sure those feelings you have towards that person remains at the top. So basically, I think, yeah.
Amazing. Pastor Stephanie, a lot of young people, a lot of young girls, they'll just come around, oh, he loves me, he loves me. And you look at the so-called love, you look at the actions. For me, I think love is verb, is a doing word. You have to show there's something, there's a commitment, there's something you're doing as a guy. But a girl is like, oh, he loves me, especially because is saying things. Commitment is not only in words, so how can a girl really know when this guy loves her? How do you know? How do you know that it's not? There's a whole lot going on, people meeting on internet. I don't have problem meeting on internet, but how do you follow up what is happening after the internet and all the sweet word? How can a girl tell when a man truly loves her?
Thank you for that question, ma'am. Actually, I'll just let me pull one thread from what you said about meeting online and, just having a perception about someone you met online and feeling that that person actually loves you. I had a talk recently with one particular lady, and she met someone online, and he was already proposing marriage, wanting to come. He's not in Nigeria, and wanting to come down and pay her bride price, and it was really fast, almost kind of rushing her. And when I had a talk with her, I asked her a question: what makes you? She kept saying, oh, he loves her amongst all the men that try to vie for her hand here in Nigeria. He loves her the most. And I asked her, how does she know he loves her? And she said, he says the right things. He doesn't get angry, and all of. And I asked her, I said, can I ask you an honest question? Are you your most authentic self online? And then she was taken aback a bit, and I said, let me repeat the question. Are you 100% authentic online, or is there a bit of pretense associated with your online persona? And she said, actually, she's not fully. I said, are there times when you are upset with something he said, but you hide behind the words you are typing and just make it sound like, okay, you're okay? And she said it's true. Actually, there are times when she's upset and she'll bring up an excuse to go offline so that she can. I said, okay, so that means he also has fallen in love with a fake version of you online, or a created or a made-up version of you that you have, presented to him online. So don't you think he probably is doing the same thing? I said, somebody does not type "you are stupid," and just say. In fact, somebody does not rant, via their keyboard. You've not met him personally. You've not had to, interact with him. So how are you sure that he loves you more than those that you meet, in the physical here, over here in Nigeria? So about meeting online, those are my own personal, thoughts about that, because you don't really know that person. And even when you meet physically, there's also that bit of acting that goes on in the beginning stages of relationships where people don't really know themselves that much. Everybody's on his best behavior because this is new, you are having all the things. So there's that acting stage. And then when, men can only act for that long. Women can only act for so long. A time comes when all your acting skills ends and then your true nature presents itself, and then that's when you start having people say, I don't know you, this is not who I fell in love with. You fell in love with the put together edited version of that person.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough meeting someone in the physical and falling in love, and it's even harder meeting someone online and falling in love with that online
Mm-hmm.
persona of that person, that online avatar
Mm-hmm.
of that person online. So I don't always tell them to go by what they meet online. Now, secondly, when you mention how does a woman know that a man loves her, you clearly said when you were speaking, love is a verb. It's not a noun, it's a verb. Actions are what points you towards love. If the guy is saying all the right things, I beg to say he can get all of those things online for free. you can you can literally browse and say, what do women want to hear, and you would
Mm-hmm.
have a whole
Retinue of
retinue
words.
of words to use to say to, well, we're almost the same. Women are almost the same, so are men. So someone can get anything online and say, okay, good morning, how was your night, you are as bright as the morning sun, you are as this and that. He could get them online. But what you can use to be that litmus test whether this man actually loves you are the actions he's willing to take towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I believe that what can differentiate one man from the other is how much more he's willing to do. And when I say do, okay, how much of your school fees he's willing to pay, or how much of gifts he's willing to buy, but his day-to-day actions, do they communicate respect to you? Does he value your feelings? Does he value your thoughts? Does he value your words? Does he value your opinion? Those type of actions continuously, daily, consistently, those are the things that will tell you whether this man is in it for a short period of time or he's in it for the long run. Yes. So for me, I mean, that's what I take as how you can identify if a man actually does, love you.
Wow, thank you so much, Pastor Stephanie. You know, when I met
Thank you.
my husband, one of the things I said, see, let's not put much energy into talking about our strength. I said, our strength is not going to be the problem of the marriage. Let's talk about
That's
our
right.
weaknesses. Let's open up to say, this is who I am. You know, this is
Yeah.
who I am. This is the thing that get me angry. This is the things that I do because those are the things that you're going to have. So I really appreciate that. You talk about value, you talk about respect, respect. I have a couple here, even in America that would do things and the man is not showing any respect to this lady. And I'm like, how do you want to marry? And he will say, oh, I'm the man. I'm the one in control. And you want to control another person. Like seriously, so I really appreciate that you said that you mentioned that value. If someone can't value you today, they won't value you tomorrow. And
That's right.
if they don't value you, they don't value what you carry, because you find a situation where a woman is called to do something and the man cannot allow her to do it. It starts from not valuing her. If you don't value her, you
That's right.
don't value what you're supposed to do. So thank you so much for bringing that. So, Pastor Bamsha, let's quickly talk about people in marriage now. This is Valentine season. Everybody wants to buy flower, both live and plastic flower. It's okay, and everybody wants to do things. But love goes beyond, of course, is beyond one day. What are the things that a man can consistently do to show love to the wife? Pastor Stephanie is also going to say the women's side, so, but as a man, as a godly man, let me put it that way, because you were talking about some things, you were coding some things about things you consciously do to your wife. I know it varies, what your wife like may not be what somebody else like. They can say, okay, there's money here, there's wrapper here. A woman may say, give me the money, keep the wrapper, I can buy wrapper. Another person will say, oh, I want the flower. They say, give an African woman check of flower. Well, Misha will take both. I will take both. you know. So, how can a man consistently? We're talking about consistency now, like Pastor Stephanie said. How can a man consistently love his wife?
All right. Thank you for that question. By the way, while we may not share the same bias with those who are celebrating St. Valentine, I would always tell couples to take advantage of the season. While we may not, while we should not be seasonal expressors, there's any word like that, of love, we should take advantage of the seasons. The reason is because most times, you could have a lot going on and couples can be so engaged in their work, but you can be forgiven, if you get so busy and you don't remember, to do the kiss or to lend a hand there. But when the season comes, come on, even the world is telling you do something to show. So I would want to say, while we may not be sharing the same interpretation of St. Valentine, I would always say couples should take advantage of major events. For example, mark their birthdays. I mean, you have 1 year to plan for the birthday of your wife. That's the day God brought her into the world. If she was not born, plan it. It's just like someone is giving birth and then the day comes for delivery and say you don't have money for diapers or something. You have 9 months notice. So take advantage of the times where people are celebrating on the Valentine, the birthday, the Christmas, and all of that. Now, having said that, one way or many ways you can use to show and express love to your spouse is, number one, you have to consider the person. And by considering the person is you should value the things that the person has been put on earth to do, the purpose and the vision of that person. And by that I mean listen to the person. You can't get to know the person's purpose, you can't get to know the person's vision if you don't listen to the person. In dating you hear, but in marriage, when you were dating, the person told you what she wants to or what he wants to fulfill in life. When you get married, it's your job as a man or a woman to try to see, as a man, try to see, okay, this is what this woman said when we were dating. Now that I'm married, am I shafting her away from the purpose and her vision, or am I encouraging her to be everything? So in listening to her, in observing her, am I supporting her? So key word there is listening, and after you've listened to observe, then you now support. And by support, I mean, for example, the couple or your spouse may be working. If she's the lady, you don't have to leave the lady to do everything for the child or for the children because she's the woman in the house. No, as the man, you ought to be there. It's both of you that have the children. In fact, for my wife and I, usually when she's pregnant, I try to be there. We go for those people who are just newlywed and your wife is pregnant, be there for every antenatal. By the grace of God, I was there for all the antenatal visits to the hospital. Just being there. Most times when I go, I'll see I'm the only guy there with my wife. And the doctor is talking and I'm listening, because when the lady's death is ready to give birth, she'll be in pain. So she can't even remember some of the things the doctor said. You as a husband, you need to be there to support your wife at that time. So while it may be different, people are going, but for the antenatal visit, which for the first period of time, first trimester, it may be just once in 2 months or once in a month. And then as it gets closer, it becomes 2 weeks and all of that. It's very important. I'll give you a story. There's a particular man who never went with his wife for the antenatal. And they noticed that this woman is not even supposed to go into labor because of the kind of complication she had. But because she was always going alone, nobody could tell that this is what it is. So the man was not there. The woman started labor, and the man did not know. He was waiting for her to progress. Meanwhile, that was the cue for her to have gone to the hospital. Sad, cut the long story short, they lost the baby, and at the end of the day, even the woman lost her life. Why? Because the man was not there to support. So, as a way of showing love, support is important. Listen, to try to observe, and then listen, and try to see how you can still be a support to her vision. And then for handling the kids while she pursues her vision, maybe your wife wants to be a career, or she wants to be a career woman, or she wants to be in ministry, or whatever it is. Try to show the support by being there. Don't say you are there just providing the money. No, be there. And then, of course, one of the ways you want to show love to your wife, apart from listening, listen to have a conversation. Most times, guys just listen to just nod, so that the lady doesn't feel, Sometimes my wife catches me, she's talking to me, and with my phone, and then she stops, and then I noticed that she has stopped talking. And I said, yeah, yeah, I heard what you said. I'm trying to, sometimes I do that, but more, I'm learning to understand that I need to listen to my wife when she's talking to me. That is how she feels valued. That's how she feels loved. And most times, guys want to love ladies like guys, and guys and ladies want to love guys like ladies. It doesn't work that way. You need to know that the other person that you're relating with, your structure, your system is not the same. So you need to learn the love codes, you need to learn the love expressions. That's why we do the teach me to love you. Ladies showing men the things that they need to do to communicate the love. So apart from listening, apart from observing, apart from supporting, one thing you want to do is, like I said, mark the very important dates for this of this person's life and make sure you are there for the person. One of the things I try to do, sometimes I fail, but I've tried to be consistent, is that there's a day I set aside every week for just my family. And then there are days that I set aside for just my wife. And then there are days, like yesterday, she ministered in church. And because she ministered, I told her, of course, there's no way you can cook. We went out in this lovely place, and then we had lunch, and then we came back. You know, I did some good massage, some good things here and there, just to show and communicate that love. You know, but some persons may not be that observant. I mean, your wife has just had a very long day. She comes back, just how you will meet the person at the door sometimes can go a long way. So that everyday consistent expression of love has to do with observing the person and knowing when the person, just wants to hear certain things. Kind words. Use kind words. It's funny that men know how to respect their female bosses in the office, but they don't know how to respect their wives at home. You have a female boss, you can say yes, ma, you can do, and then no matter what the woman says to you, you can say yes. But when you come home, this woman that is like the woman that's made you a father, somehow they just throw away the respect, and it doesn't hurt to be kind, to use kind words, for a while. And then somehow people have thrown away "I love you" to the curb. They don't use those words any longer. But I think one of the words that I consistently say to my wife is "I love you." In the morning, we're in the same house. She wakes up, she says good morning. I'm saying good morning with a kiss, emoji there, and I'm saying I missed you, even though we slept on the same bed. You are saying that, and you are reassuring. I was talking to some couples. Please, one of the things, guys, you need to do. Ladies need consistent reassurance. Yes, consistent reassurance, because sometimes you can be so into the work that you forget that she needs to be to reassure that you still love her. So some of those steps of reassurance is do go out on a movie, buy her gifts. Sometimes it may just be a text message. I miss you. I was thinking about you. There are times that I get so engrossed in work that I even set alarm. These are systems you create around you to remind you. You get so I set an alarm that says, hey, you've not called your wife. So I now, as soon as the alarm rings, I pick up my phone. I know it's time for break, and I say, hey, how you doing? I missed you and all of that. And then I go back to work. Yeah, some people may think it's mechanical, but those are systems you have to put in place to show that you really value and you really love your wife. So I could go on and on, but you have to also defend, stand for your wife, defend her, protect her, don't be the kind of person where you believe everything that is said about your wife. You should be protective. I'm not saying you should align with sin or anything that is wrong, but God expects that the first thing you do is to, as the gardener, you try to see what it is that you can do. The support system is there. Even if you clear that what she did is not appropriate, there is always a way to go about it. And I think it's vice versa for the two. So in marriage, what you were doing while you were dating, it's important you continue to keep the bliss, the joy, and the laughter of the home. So if you were taking her out before, you were buying things for her before, you were saying the love words, you were calling her names, those things should continue. Not that after the wedding, from babe, begin to call her Steph or Mama Jutam, all these things. Those pet names are important. So
Thank you so much, Pastor. I'll talk with people here and they'll say, oh, Pastor Lou, I'm an African man. And I'm like, seriously? So And then people usually will say, oh, what every woman needs, what every man needs most is honor. A woman should honor the husband, and they stop there. And I talked to somebody, I said, but when I look at what the Bible said, the Bible didn't even say, wife, honor your husband. The Bible say, husband, honor your wife. And I think that one of the problem, and I'm so grateful that you're mentioning this, because we've allowed culture to be above our faith, to be above our, even you see, very, like someone has said to me here, oh, Pastor Luke, can you imagine? I'm the one that microwave my food. And I was like, seriously, you cook the food and micro? He said, no, she cooked the food, but I said, your wife is taking care of children, she's in school, she's working at the same time, doing these three major things, and you are not doing anything because you don't have the paper to work. But she's coming back from work in the morning. She's the one that will still take the children and still go to classes round the clock, sometimes not sleeping for 2 days. So I like what you said about the vision, understand your wife vision, because we're going to talk about that, support her, because I've seen situation, I've seen a trend when a man is the head of the business or head of the church or head of everything, everybody expect the wife. The Bible says submit, Ephesians chapter 1 verse 22, that's where they stop. But when a woman is the one that God has graced to lead, then you begin to have, even though, yeah, I know it's a kind of tricky thing there, because as a woman too, you are the head of things, you are also not the head of the family. The man is still the head of the family, irrespective of what you have. But situation where the woman is even doing everything in every way to, compensate, try to bow, try to do all of that. But then the man still have problem supporting what God has called the woman to do, even in our business and everything. Those are happening a lot. You talk about defending her. You talk about saying, I love you. Some people are like, oh, you have not said I love you to me. If I did not love you, what will you be doing in my house? Like, seriously, that is not it. For me, it's not about being an African. It's about being the godly man.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. I mean,
Being the godly man.
it's so up. It's so up what you're saying. I don't know why, and I want to. I say I love you to my son. My son says he loves me. It's. I think it's from upbringing. Something just tells African man that if you say I love you, you are weak. I mean, I was my brother, and I said I love you, and it was a bit strange. But after some time, he's picked up now. Even though I don't say it, you say I love you, man. I say I love you too. The love concept has been attached that if you express it, that means it is weak, and that is a lie of the devil. That's what gets men to the place where if you express affection, if you express love, it means it's weak. That's the lie of the devil. In fact,
Pastor,
yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Pastor Bamshak, I say things to my children, like Valentine now, I'll buy chocolate for them. I'll say that love, I try to, and I tell something to my sons. I said, a man crying is not a sign of weakness. It's human, because those are the things that people say to boys. Just like when I was in Nigeria, and I'll tell my boys to wash, to do things, and people are like, oh, Pastor Tolu, they are boys. And I'm like, they are boys? I talk to them all the time. These are the things to say. And sometimes I'll tell them when I drop them in school, obviously it comes with, oh, have a great day, I love you. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I've not had it back. You need to say it back to me. I'm teaching them consciously how to treat their wives. So I think it starts from there. It starts from background where people that have male children need to start doing that now. Teaching your children how to properly treat their wives in the future. So, Pastor, thank you so much, Pastor Bamshak. So, Pastor Stephanie, what are the things that women also need to do, so that it's not like, oh, yeah, the Bible says, wife, husband, love your wife. That's it. You know, what are the things that women also need to do for their husbands to show love to their husbands?
Yes. He said something. Men want to love women like they are men, and then women also want to love men like they are women.
Mm,
And then so if you don't really understand who a man is and who you are married to
mm,
is, you can be treating him like a woman, or you can be treating him like somebody else's husband. Meanwhile, he is yours. So, but there are certain things that are general most times to most men. One of it is peace. I don't know how else to put this, but um, when a man comes home, he wants to come to a peaceful environment. And when I say peaceful environment, every home has an atmosphere. It might not be seen, but it exists. Every home has an atmosphere. And if that atmosphere is not peaceful,
mm,
I don't think any man would want to be in that place.
mm.
Someone said something to us, I think 2 days back, and said,
Hello. Okay, I think we're gonna have them back shortly. It's probably the internet. We're talking about love. We're talking with Pastor Bamshark and Pastor Stephanie, big one. We're talking their resident pastor of the Latter House Christian Center in Jos, and they're gonna come back very shortly. We're having um we're
no
having
man,
internet
men are
issues.
not like women. They can't thrive under those type of atmospheres. The first thing they want to do is to run out
Mm,
whenever the atmosphere is tensed. As a woman, what you want is we will sit down here until everything is fixed. But a man, once he senses tension, they're not as emotionally strong as we think they are.
mm,
Next thing they want to do is they want to leave that place. So
mm,
if you can be in peace, that's one thing. And then another thing is what men don't even voice is they love to be appreciated.
Mm.
Oftentimes people just think it's women that want to hear, tell me what I'm doing right, tell me. But a lot of men, most of them want to be appreciated. They do a lot for those who are responsible. They go out, they try to see, yes, for those who are responsible,
mm,
because
mm,
there's also that group of men who want everything to be done for them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about responsible men.
mm,
They try to make sure the family have basic needs, at least whatever it is that he's able to do. They want to know that their efforts are being appreciated. The same way, yes, I'm not just saying, a man should not hear that you appreciate him only from others. He should hear it from you.
mm.
Say, okay, I appreciate
In Nigeria.
in Nigeria.
He's able to have cash in Nigeria. Because right now, US is, I'm sorry for cutting you,
No
but
problem.
you see guys go out and they come back. I'm
They're
telling
queuing from morning to evening.
yeah, if he comes back and he's able to say, let's go to church and he's in your car, that fuel, if you need to get it and least say, thank you. You should get it, please.
Yes. For example, you have children and the fees have been paid. There is nothing wrong in you saying, I know how it has been, and I appreciate the fact that you are responsible enough to know that these children's fees need to be paid, and you did whatever I know how tired you get. I know how you have to shun your health or whatever it is just to make sure we have what we need. Appreciate him. When you appreciate those little things, you'll be shocked to see how much he's willing to do.
That's
Because he
right.
wants that appreciation. He will go the extra mile to make sure he does more. And then also that respect angle. I don't know how else to put it, but men want to be respected. They need it. I think human beings in general need to be respected, but men particularly love it when they have respectful women. And oftentimes men who have strong women, most times they are, they are starved of respect. If your woman is strong financially, if she's strong emotionally, if she's a leader in some other place, most of those men are starved of respect. And that respect I'm talking about is not you being subservient to him, but understanding that, like you said, the man is still the head of the home, regardless, he's still the head of the home. That is what is ordained in scripture. And if you're a godly woman, you know that respect is something you should give to your husband. There's certain times when you can air your views without having to be condescending. Or yes, because most women, because they want to air their mind, they try to degrade the man, so that if you beat down on your husband, at the end of the day, he is your husband. He's not somebody else's husband. What do you gain in trying to degrade him so that he can understand what you're saying? If you want to be communicated to with respect, then it is only right that you also give respect when you are speaking to your husband.
Yeah.
It's vice versa. If you don't like it when he shouts you down, why do you want to shout him down? It's that's something I've seen more and more now, especially with the fact that women are going out into the world and they are doing more and they are achieving a lot. Women are achieving a lot right now. And it seems like, why do I need to respect him? That means you don't understand. Respect does not come because your status is low. The greatest test of respect is when you can take care of yourself, you are independent, but you still choose, because it's a choice, you still choose to give him his place as the head of the home and respect his views the same way you want your own views to be respected. And I think that there's this thing we say in Africa, see finish. It's like when it just means you have seen the person finish. When you stay so much with somebody, familiarity kicks in, and then you just feel like, it's you. I mean, I've seen you in your worst state. I've seen you. So what are you trying to tell me here? But everybody needs to be respected, especially the man, being that he is the head of the home. Now, men also need to be accepted. Yes, they need to be accepted. You see, women try to compare in the bid to spur their husbands to do more. You hear, because you want him to, maybe let's say he's not giving gifts. He probably doesn't even know that he's supposed to give you gifts, or he doesn't know that he wants to receive gifts. Then you say, see this other person's husband, he's doing so well. This type of man, and then in your mind, you're trying to let him see, but he now begins to feel rejected because he's seeing the admiration to look at another man, and then he feels rejected. And then men also, I think men don't like to be rejected more than women. A woman can, even if her husband rejects her, you see her still trying to push, to still try to win him back, to still go after him. But most men, once they sense rejection, they start to pull away. Their instinct is not to go after. Their instinct is to pull away, especially when they're already in a committed relationship with you. They just feel, this woman doesn't want me anymore, I'm not accepted here. And then they start to pull back. So men want to be accepted, and they want to see admiration. They want you to admire them, and not just in your heart, but also make it visible. The same way you want your husband to consistently shower you with good words, every man, being the head, wants to receive admiration, kind of the way we give admiration to God. As the head of the church, the man also wants to get admiration from his wife. The nice words should not be one-sided. You should also be able to offer them to your husband, to say, okay, you are looking very good today. This is what I like about you, about your character, about how you look. Because the same way women can get insecure when they start to get older, men too can get insecure. And you have to be able to speak words of admiration to your husband. And then not, he said something about the things you were doing before you got married, continue them. My own mindset is even do them more, because the stakes are higher in marriage. If you were a kind person when you were dating, you should be an even kinder person in marriage, because you have more to lose should that marriage not work. So if you see ladies that are single cooking for their boyfriends, their fiancés, almost daily, they're asking, okay, what do you want to eat? Should I do this? Going up and down, almost as if you are trying to beg him or cajole him into marrying you. Now you're married and you feel, I mean, he's already in it, so what is it? I don't have to cook his best meals. I don't have to make sure I take care of myself. Still be physically attractive towards him. Whatever it is that you were doing before, do them better, do them more, because the stakes are there. So I think that's.
Thank you so much. You know, Pastor Stephanie, I always say something. I said, every marriage, there is no hopeless marriage. Every marriage can survive as long as both parties are willing to work it together. You know, we have problem when one person is trying to work it out and the other person is not willing to. Sometimes the man is putting every effort, and the woman is just there. Sometimes the woman is putting every effort and the man is not there. You know, the thing is, most times what a man needs, a woman too needs it. They need it in separate ways. Take for an example, affection. A man's affection may be like, no, we have not had sex in a long while, and we should be having sex regularly. It may be focusing on sex. A woman also wants the affection, but maybe not sex. Maybe the touch, maybe the thing. So those are the things. You talk about respect. You know, a woman needs respect, a man needs respect. A woman needs honor, a man needs honor, but understanding the way that your own husband needs that thing and giving. It's like giving Valentine gifts now. And I want to give a shout out to all our men. Please, if you are giving Valentine's gift, give a gift that is specifically for that woman. Don't go and buy a set of pots. Set of pots for the family. Please. Don't buy a mutual thing or what is needed in the house. Buy something for her. And if you want to buy, Pastor Stephanie, can you give such, okay, like the Zara care now. They can come to bring your wife to the care place. Please, where is that place, Pastor Stephanie? Where in Jos is that?
It is very close to Rayfield Golf Course. It's in Rayfield. So just very close to the golf course. That's where we have an Instagram page and stuff, so people can get more information there. Order Zahara.
Because somebody is feeling, I don't know the place. If I know the place, go on Instagram and go and find the place. Take your wife out. Just take her out and say, please, you guys should help me take care of her. Do massage, do the spa, do the everything, sign the check. And when she comes back, don't be pressurizing that she has to give sex. No, you are giving her.
It's not a transaction.
It's not a transaction. Don't feel that because the body is relaxed now. So let's do, please, let her rest. And women also can give gift to their husband. You know, like on your husband's birthday.
And not singlet and boxers. All those singlet and boxers sisters have. Singlet and boxers, singlet and boxers.
Okay, now, you know, I have always believed, like, even on your husband's birthday, the first thing a woman should do, wake up, except if you have to wake up to do something at midnight. I mean, fast forward it. Wake up, if your husband is in the mood, you know, prep him very well, give good sex. I mean, those are the things, if your husband is that kind of a thing. So the gift, you know, when we're talking about gift, women always think that they are the one to always receive. No. Is Pastor Bansha, what gift can men give or can women give? Please quickly say, what gift can women give this season?
You know, men, just on a light note, you can buy fuel. I mean, because fuel in Nigeria now is gold, but I'm just saying, I mean, they are very good shirts. You've seen how some shirts look on him. You can get him a very good shirt, a good
Mhm.
shoe. They say a good man from the head to the toe is not complete until you see the shoes. So the shoes are like the dots on the I and the cross on the T. A good shoe. That means you must know his size, preferable color. Look at his shoe collection. Which color is missing? I mean,
Mhm.
brown, black. You can get some good ones that can tone it down. You can even get a very good belt, you know. But these are some gifts that you can actually give to him. A very good wristwatch, a wristwatch, some of these accessories that you can get. My wife got me a very good is it a purse, something I like to put all my phones, because most times I can be very busy and just leave things. So there's this very good purse she got for me that helped me put my tab, my phones, and all of this, my wallet and all of those things. They're all put together. She got it to me for me the other time. So these are some very thoughtful gifts. And permit me to say this: observe some of the needs. What my wife and I do is, throughout the year, most times we're observing the statements that we are making. Sometimes you can say, I wish I had this. Now, it's not that you must get it at that time. The person just giving you something that you can work towards on the birthday or on the Valentine. So be very observant. You say, I wish I had this, or I wish I can get this, I wish I can get that. So apart from getting these things for God, you can also get something that is really there to them by just observing one or two things
Thank
that
you.
they see.
You know, while you're talking about the shed, it's good to be able to know the size. You're living in the same house with the man. Go check the size
I
so
know
that you are
this.
not bringing one oversized shirt. And so,
Agada.
or bring the kind of color that the man doesn't like. You know, when I met my husband for our wedding, or when we got married that Saturday and we got in and everything, I gave him my gift. My gift was, my husband is a spiritual person. He gave Bible on tape. Please let no man go and give that Bible. Give it on another occasion. Don't give it when it's your thing. But I had gotten him 5 shirts, 5 brand new shirts. The kind of shirt that I was like, oh, do they sell shirt this price? I paid the price to buy that. Instead of buying myself things for my wedding or when I got my, I decided to concentrate that on my husband. I bought 5 new shirts. I said, when you start work every day of the week, when they see you at work, I want them to know that, yeah, he's married now. Come on with it. And ever since, in Amadu Bello way, I remember one guy met me one day and he said, oh, you are buying things for your husband. And my customer said, yeah, that she's always buying things here for her husband. And the man said, I was going to buy an Italian shoe. I didn't have enough money. The man said, no, I have to add to this money. This woman, he said, wow. He said, I don't really
Wow.
see men here. My husband know all my time in just, I'll buy the shirt, I'll buy the suit, I'll buy everything for him to, even when he
Exactly.
started leading prayer in church, I was like, okay, but I was doing television program. Sometimes I will even go to secondhand things to buy for myself because I know how to sort myself out. I'll go to secondhand thing, wash the thing, I'll do television program. But for him, I will go to Amadu Bello, we buy Italian belt, buy Italian shirt. It's always good. Do it. Sometimes
It's
you're
very
thinking, oh, this person is not doing for me. You do the right thing you know how to do. You do it.
the harvest.
You do it. You are married already. There's a covenant that covers both of you. You do it. But I know that sometimes it becomes overwhelming if the goodness is only one-sided.
That's right.
And that's why I think that what Pastor Bamshak have said and what Pastor Stephanie have said, you will make it easier on your spouse when you also do the right thing. It creates good ambience and aura in the home, you know,
That's
because
right.
if you have spoiled the home before you go and you are coming back and you are looking for peace, I don't know where the peace is going to appear from. You understand?
That's right.
As a woman,
That's
if
right.
you have talked down your husband, insulted, Pastor Stephanie, one thing that I also believe that women shouldn't do, it's not ladylike to say foul words.
Mm.
It's not ladylike.
Very true.
Even to your children, to your household, Tell yourself that I will not be caught saying things. Some women will look at their husband and say, oh, so if they are calling husband, you too,
You,
you will go. It's not husband. You have the first child, you have the second child, you have the third child, you have and it's not husband. So I think that women needs to be very careful with the words that we speak. Pastor Bamshak, what final thought do you want to give to people today? This Valentine, this love. What is your
Well, for as many that are joining, tomorrow it's Valentine. I want to speak to the young people out there. It's not cliche when I say don't do anything that 9 months from now you're going to regret.
Mhm.
Loving somebody does not mean you must give the person your body. Valentine, I don't think that guy that they're celebrating, he gave his body or anything like that. So don't do anything because of maybe they'll buy you food or they'll take you to a nice place, and then at the end of the day, you give your body. You will at the end of the day be at the receiving end because the person doesn't have anything to lose at the end of the day. It is always said, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? If you give something that you are not in the married circle for, you give something that is not within the marriage circle, you are at the end of the day be potentially telling the person that you are losing. So final thoughts tomorrow. If you don't have a date tomorrow, love thyself. The Bible says, love your neighbor as thyself. Pamper yourself. Take yourself out. You know, you can, the next person that you should show love after God is actually yourself, because it says, love your neighbor as yourself. The measuring rod is yourself. So even forgiving yourself for past mistakes is loving yourself. So this Valentine, the time we're showing love, is not just between a man and his wife, even from a father to a son, son to a mother, you know, brother to a sister, uncle to. Let's show love and let's forgive. Let this be an opportunity to forgive. Love, one of the expressions of love is forgiveness, and I'm hoping that we're able to share this in this season. Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Pastor Stephanie, what's your final thought?
I agree with what he said about tomorrow being Valentine. One of my pastor friends wrote, "There, your sexuality is not a gift. So don't now a gift that would in turn to a prayer point. So don't come and give gifts that are not yours to give in this type of situation, and then you now to a prayer point at the end of the day. And then God is love. How do you want to experience or to give love when you don't know Him?
That's right.
And if anybody listening here has not had a very good relationship with God, or there is something wrong in that relationship, this is a season when focus on getting back to your first love and making sure that relationship is good and well, doing very well, before you can start to say, oh, who is the next person around me, or anything like that. If you don't know God or you're not connected to Him in the right ways, there is whatever you think you are giving to somebody else is adulterated, and it will not, it can never be pure, and can never give you back good results. So take this season and reconnect to His love, and strengthen that relationship in this season. It's not about, yes, it's Saint Valentine, but before Saint Valentine said anything about love, we already knew that God is love, and whatever they are trying to portray is just a shadow of what you can really experience with Him. So I'll admonish everyone here to make sure before you reach out to your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, make sure that you have settled that particular aspect.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much. I'm always so excited anytime you come up on this program, because you just come with that depth, that blesses people around the world. And I want to say to everyone too, if you're in latter house, please just help me shower love to this wonderful couple. You can. Valentine is not only, it's about love. It's not only emotional love, it's celebration of love generally. And so you can do something, show love to your pastors, care for them, tell them how much they mean to you, and so on. And we started with this with Pastor Bansha, talking about love is both affection and commitment. Please, let's renew commitment. to one another. You may want to talk to your husband or your wife, to renew your vows to yourselves, tomorrow that is Valentine. Just say something beautiful. And if you've been quarreling, please let it just end, so that both of you can enjoy one another. If your wife is in the kitchen as a man, please go help out, with it. Don't burn things. So, but even if you burn the food, it's all part of the love. Just do something romantic to your partner. And if your partner is not there, you can still call one another, send messages of love. If you came in later, please go listen to this message, because this couple, they said very profound words that you need to listen to. Pastor Bamshak, I also want you to please greet Pastor Jemima for me. She's an amazing, amazing woman of God. I respect her so much. I honor her, I celebrate her. She's a wonderful woman of God. And we started with it, and I also want to close with it to say, Reverend Biang and the family will stand by you at this very, very difficult time, that you're going to be burying your grandson tomorrow at just 13 years old. The consolation and the comfort is that he knew God and is with the Lord. And so we standing by you, we're praying for you, we're supporting you with Ruth, the husband, and the entire family. We pray that the comfort of the Lord abide with you in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So to everyone here, until we have Pastor Banshak and Pastor Stephanie again, I want to say thank you to everyone that have joined. Please share this video so that others can be blessed out there. Thank you so much. Thank you, pastors. I appreciate it. For everyone, bye-bye. Pastor